Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today for this special occasion. You have done so much already, and the staff and researchers at the CBCS wanted to take some time to thank you and show you how important your participation has been. My name is Layla Family, and I'm one of the graduate students, along with Peter Samai, that have had the privilege of working on Phase 3 of the Carolina Breast Cancer Study. I'm going to be spending the next couple of minutes with an overview of the CBCS. As you look around the room today, you'll see many women with different backgrounds and experiences, but there is one characteristic that binds you all. Each of you made the same decision not to remain idle, but to help in our fight to better understand breast cancer in North Carolina. And with good reason. There are some big numbers. As you may know, breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in women. According to the American Cancer Society, there will be close to 233,000 new breast cancer cases diagnosed this year in the United States. Of those, as many as 7,600 are projected to be from North Carolina. This last number is probably the most important, 7,333. 7,333 women have volunteered their time and energy as participants in the Carolina Breast Cancer Study since it began in 1993. The majority of these women, like yourselves, are survivors. Our number one goal at the CBCS is to increase the number of breast cancer survivors like you. And your participation in the study and the information that you provided helps us get us closer to reaching this goal. So let's take a closer look at the CBCS, starting with the beginning, Phase 1. In the early 90s, our understanding of breast cancer was quite different than it is today. You might say we knew very little, and in order to begin to understand more about what causes breast cancer, the Carolina Breast Cancer Study was created to see if things like smoking, working with chemicals such as pesticides, personal characteristics like when you had your first period, or the types of food you ate, gave us any clues on who might get breast cancer in the future, and ultimately what we could do to prevent it. So the Carolina Breast Cancer Study presented a unique opportunity, enrolling women from diverse backgrounds living in 24 eastern and central North Carolina counties, shown here on the map. We included women from all walks of life in large urban centers such as Raleigh, as well as smaller rural communities across the state. In Phase 1, we enrolled 861 women with breast cancer and compared them to women without breast cancer to identify any differences. In Phase 2, even more women were recruited to participate. Phase 2 used the same 24-county study area as Phase 1, but now had more than double the number of participants to over 4,000 women. It was important to expand the research and include more women affected by breast cancer to better answer questions about medication, diet, and physical activity. Unlike factors like your age and family history, things you can't really change, we wanted to focus on things that you could change, like eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, or participating in regular exercise that may reduce your chance of getting breast cancer. So what did we learn? The results from Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Carolina Breast Cancer Study fell into three broad categories: confirming some things, building upon our existing knowledge, and finally identifying new questions. Some CBCS studies confirmed what we thought about traditional causes of breast cancer, including the impact of your age and certain reproductive characteristics. Other CBCS studies built on what we knew before. We all know that smoking is bad for us. Furthermore, CBCS showed that starting smoking between the ages of 10 and 13 could increase your chances of getting breast cancer even more. While on the other hand, starting regular exercise as a teen or a young adult could decrease your chance of getting breast cancer later in life. When we look closer, we began to realize that some of these so-called well-established factors for breast cancer might not necessarily apply to all women equally. Past studies primarily looked at older white women, while the diverse population represented in the CBCS allowed us to observe risk factors associated with breast cancer by both race and age. So we found that breast cancer, in fact, does vary by race and age. To give you a couple of examples, we found that all women who breastfed reduced their chance of getting breast cancer, but Black women had an even greater benefit from doing so. However, we also found that Black women are less likely to breastfeed than their white counterparts. In another example, being overweight, especially as a postmenopausal woman, is linked to a higher chance of getting breast cancer. However, the link between body size and premenopausal breast cancer is still a little unclear. While some studies show that high BMI may be related to reduced breast cancer, new evidence suggests that association may vary by both the type and severity of the breast cancer. So these findings led us to the conclusion that breast cancer was not just one disease, but multiple diseases that affected different women in different ways. One of the most important contributions that the CBCS has made to the breast cancer research has been the discovery of different subgroups of breast cancer, often referred to as subtypes. Subtypes are just another way of saying the biological characteristics associated with a breast tumor. Our understanding of breast cancer today suggests there might be at least 4 different types of breast cancer, but we still see examples that do not fit in these categories. So what we also found is that these subtypes may vary by race. For example, luminal A, shown here in orange, is the most common subtype in both Black and white women, but takes up more of the pie and is much more common among white women. On the other hand, Black women were shown to have more basal-like subtype, shown here in the green slice of the pie. So this is a new and upcoming area of research, and a topic you might hear a little more about later today in the science talk. So acknowledging what we've learned about breast cancer from all the research to date, and based on the new questions that arose from the results from phase 1 and phase 2, we concluded that the next important question to ask was this: why do women with the same type of breast cancer and the same type of treatment have different outcomes? And this is where phase 3, the Jeannie Hopkins-Lucas study, comes into play, the reason we are all here today. In phase 3, the size of the study grew to 44 counties. We had to expand to guarantee that we'd be able to find 3,000 new women with breast cancer in North Carolina. In phase 3, we also tried to make sure that there was an equal number of older and younger women, in addition to equal numbers of Black and white women. Therefore, we recruited 750 women in each race and age category. So while adding 3,000 women with newly diagnosed breast cancer, there are several other improvements in phase 3 that we think will make a significant contribution to our understanding of breast cancer. In phase 3, we started collecting treatment information from your doctors. As you probably all know, learning about what treatments you received is an important part of the question we need to answer. In addition to collecting treatment information, we wanted to know how you were dealing with breast cancer, both physically and emotionally. So we asked you to fill out a quality of life survey to get an idea of how you were coping with any side effects and the support that you were receiving from your friends and family. This information we felt was just as important, if not more important, as the information we received from your doctors. Finally, we want to emphasize the importance of follow-up, not only with your doctors, but also in this study. That's why you have received, or you will in the future, follow-up calls to check and see how you are doing. You should expect these calls for about every 9 to 12 months after you join the study. We want to understand what impact breast cancer has had on your lives, not only during breast cancer, but also after, which can help identify new issues that survivors may be dealing with, and also point researchers in the direction of the next important question to ask. While producing quality research is the goal of any research study, it has always been the priority of the Carolina Breast Cancer Study to ensure that the research reflected the needs of the communities that we worked in. Starting from the very beginning, many people from the community have helped make the Carolina Breast Cancer Study better. We would like to recognize these women from the advisory board who provided valuable input when we were first designing the Jeannie Hopkins-Lucas phase of the study. These women include members from the Sisters Network Triangle, Breast Cancer Action Network, as well as many individual breast cancer advocates. In each phase of the CBCS, we have maintained a close relationship with the community, so we can do the best we can to see that your voices and needs are heard. So going forward, I'm excited to report that we have just completed interviewing all 3,000 women participating in Phase 3. Some of the women in this room may be among the most recent participants new to the study. With better treatment comes more women living longer after cancer, and understanding the issues and needs of this growing population of breast cancer survivors is an important focus of new research. So finally, CBCS wants to thank you. As you look around the room today, you'll see a unique group of women that have selflessly shared their life experiences so we may learn more about the causes of breast cancer and how to help women like yourselves in the future. We just wanted to show you that without the information you have provided and continue to provide, we would not have been able to make all these discoveries. Over 100 scientific papers have been written using the information from Phase 1 and Phase 2 only, helping us better understand breast cancer and influencing clinical decision-making and breast cancer treatment all over the world. You are part of the sisterhood of 7,333 women that have come together to take a stance against breast cancer. Again, we want to emphasize that this work would not have been possible without you. So thank you. Thank you for your continued participation in the study. Each and every one of you is part of the CBCS legacy. You are our inspiration and our motivation to do better work every day. I hope you have a great afternoon and enjoy the speakers and activities that we have planned for you today. Thank you.